when trying to be wealthy, spending more than you earn, it's one way that will lead you to poverty. There are two major things that you do that you can think of a better way to go when you are planning wealth creation. Wealth creation is not for only the rich people, even if it was designed like that. And I will tell you the reasons why I'm saying that. I recently discovered that there's nowhere, no campus, no facility, no school that is designed to teach you how to be wealthy. And that is why some of my very good friends are planning to homeschool their kids, especially the ones that want their kids to keep the legacy they built. That automatically means that they don't really need to build wealth. They just need to maintain and also transfer, or better word, transfer this wealth to the next generation. So they need to learn that. Also, a group of other people that didn't find a family that was wealthy to come from are also deciding that they need to now begin to train their kids to create. They automatically know that they cannot create wealth. If you fall in that category and you're in this class, it's better that you just go to the comment section and please comment. Are you in category 1, those that are trying to transfer their wealth? Or you're in category 2, those that are trying to sustain their wealth? Or you're in category 3, those that are trying to create wealth? Or I would say even category 4, those that know the time is too short now. They cannot really create so much, which I think it's a lie from the pit of hell. But if that's what you are thinking about, then it's okay. You also still have a category. So you go to the comment section and put those categories down. And so I can now send you free trainings that you need to take to help you out of this category. And the reason why I can say so is because I have created wealth. And everything that I used in creating wealth, I didn't learn it for a classroom. And so when I see some of my friends trying to homeschool their kids, I am not saying no to them because they are absolutely correct. Statistics shows that 10% everywhere you go to produces a larger quantity of the results because of the information that they are exposed to. So in this particular training, we're going to be looking at what are the main things we need to do not to fall into being a victim of the circumstance. Let's talk about the educational system when it's time to create wealth. I see a lot of people training people on financial literacy. And most times when I attend those classes, they are training you on how to manage what you have. Majority do not have anything to manage. So for me, that is not the starting point. That is also a system that has been created to still keep a lot of people in the dark. So they train you on how to save. They train you on what to do with your savings. They train you on how to invest. They train you on how to get mortgages. They train you on how to use your cards. They train you. So they begin to tell you those things. And most people that have gone through those training, especially those that are not very smart, they still end up being in debt, living from paycheck to paycheck, handing over debts to their kids, and starting their kids with debts even when they are in school, because all they have to do is to resolve that they need to have student loans. It beats my imagination how that a little child of 21 years, just about to start his or her life, is going to be starting with debts. Not only that, they give them handouts of cards to lure them into buying what they do not really need, and do a lot of publicity in such a way that they make the financial institute rich. So the first thing I want to say in this class is, do not buy what you cannot afford, even when you are given in a platter of gold. It is a way to capture you into poverty. When creating wealth, that is one mistake you are making. A man is a spirit that lives in a body, and the spirit governs man. Man is sometimes live his subconscious life consciously. And that tells you that when you notice that once you take your card and you begin to think of buying a phone and try to spread the payment in 1 year, the reason why you are doing that, because your subconscious mind have seen a lot of acts that is telling you the advantage you are going to gain when you buy a phone like this. They help your psyche. And technology and social media have made it so good that once you click anything like that, it comes to you in abundance. Like the scripture says, every seed you sow, there's a multiplied harvest. So your seed of clicking, you have a multiplied harvest of now the system knows that you want to buy something and you're interested in paying over time. Anything that you buy that does not appreciate in value from the day you bought it would keep you poor. Example, a car. When you buy a car today and drive the car out of the car lot, when you bring back that car, you will not get the same price you paid. Just because you drove the car out, it's become a second hand. Even if it was a second hand before, it's become a third hand. So, buying a car and planning to pay and being told that because you are not paying once, you are saving money or you are able to pay is one reason why you will end up buying so many things, because your subconsciousness will be excited about the feeling of the car that you drove to your house, and which you really do not own a car. You are renting this car from the bank. So you need to understand that the first thing you should guide against is never you buy anything you cannot afford. I will go extreme high that you cannot afford 5 times. There is nothing you cannot afford. The reason why you feel you cannot afford it is because you are tying whatever you are buying to what you earn. Your earnings are the problem, is not your desire. The day you understand that your earnings can match up with your desire, or your desire can match up with your earning, then you begin to live the life of the supernatural. And that is the life that the systems have created for you not to live. And that is the real life, which is the life of creativity. So every time you want to buy anything, your subconscious mind is looking at your income when it's supposed to look at creativity. Your creativity should give you your purchase power, not your earnings. And so when you understand this, you will discover that wealth comes from creativity more than wealth comes from your earnings. So it's important that you get that. And that is why you need to you take a decision yourself to say, what do I do now to increase my creativity so that my earnings can expand beyond even me? And it is so important that you look at this critically. So the next thing I want you to do now is, how do I pay off all these debts? That's the second point. I want to pay up all these debts. Grace, I know I have a lot of debt. The first thing you should do, so that will be that number 2I, is identify what this debt is. I have something I call the truth tracker. The truth tracker is what tracks your truth. You have lived in this life for so long that it has become a way of life. That there are so many things that you even bought in debt that you don't need and you will never need. So get a truth tracker and track your truth for 30 days. When you do that, you will find out why you have this impulse to buy what you don't need and what are the things that you spend your money for. I like to do calculations. Let's think of Coke. How many of you know that Coke itself has not only craving, it's like a drug. So sometimes you don't really want to drink Coke because you are thirsty. You are drinking Coke because you are addicted. So a bottle of Coke or cola or whatever you call it, it's, let's assume $3. You buy 30 in a month. That means you are good. Some people drink 3. So that's $270. That's what you spend. If you stop that, you have $3,220 every year that you have saved from drinking Coke. You never know how you spend your money till you track your money. How can you sit and spend $3,240 on Coke? That's Coke. I don't know how much they sell a bottle of beer, but I think there's no beer that will be less than 5,000 naira. So I'm going to Naira people. You drink mortuary standard, very cold, like 3 bottles a day. You hang out 20 days in a month. So that's 300,000 naira in a month. Times 12. You spend 3.6 million drinking beer. You are enriching the producers and enslaving your pockets. That's for beer. So I say this to say that not until you begin to use the truth tracker to track your truth, and you have to do that at least 21 days or 30 days, you may not even remember how you spend this money that has caused you to be in debt. We are still talking about debt. When you are done in tracking your truth, the next thing you need to do is to find out what is your total debt. And let's assume, can these truths I have discovered pay up my debt? That means, can I replace this habit of Coke, of shawarma? Can I replace it by keeping these monies to pay up my debt? Not only you do this truth tracker, you might not really know what you should replace, because you can't stop a bad habit by praying or by listening to Grace Ofure. You can only stop a bad habit by replacing the habit with a good habit. That means that every time you have cravings for Coke, you send me a message and keep the Coke money maybe somewhere else, and you will discover that with just that, you are able to pay up your debts. You cannot be in debt and be wealthy, especially when these debts are on things that do not appreciate. So it means that you have debt. Whatever you bought, if it's a couch you bought, the couch is getting old. If it's a car you bought, the car is getting old. And so you cannot, you will not, you will never. And that is the truth, unless you want me to lie. You can't create wealth, and it is possible to create wealth. You can be as wealthy as you want to be, and you have the capacity to be wealthy. You can be wealthy, but wealth has its principles. So I said you must stay up debt, unless it's good debt. And who even says that there is anything that is good in debt? I've been in business for years. I've been able to work with my investors for years. And I'll tell you the truth. Debt-free, totally. No need. I just increase my creativity. I produce an offer. Anything I want to do that is not in what I already do, I produce my offer using my creativity to aim to do it. If I am increasing my staff strength, I produce an offer. That I teach on anytime I'm doing the monthly challenge. I produce an offer. If I'm increasing my lifestyle, I produce an offer. Something pays for something for me. If something cannot pay for the something, then I don't have what it takes to have this something. Next thing we're going to talk about is how then do we become wealthy? You have to be strategic. Strategic means you have to understand that wealth is not a miracle. Even if you obtain wealth by miracle, you will lose it if you do not apply the revealed principles and means. So what are the revealed principles and means? If you have not taken the first module of this course, you should ask for it. It's called 101. I did some revealed principles and means, which are the foundation of wealth creation. But there is a teaching, a mindset, a technology, an art and science of building wealth. And one other thing you must do is to conquer fear. And conquer fear, because fear can keep you in poverty. Fear of failure, fear of risk, fear of adventure. Somebody told me, you are in an, it's adventure. Wealth creation is adventure. So it's so important that you know that to create wealth, you have to kill fear. What's fear? Fear is as a result of things you have heard, listened, seen. So your subconscious mind begins to react in such a way that when you want to take some decisions, because of the negativity of the information, of the things you have been taught in school, your government, you are afraid. But there is also an opposite of fear. It is called faith. Faith too is as a result of what you can see, what you can hear. So that's why you need to share this video or invite people for this class, because it will only but build their faith. When I started my wealth creation journey, one thing that I did was to listen to people that have created wealth, and I could trace how they created wealth because I knew that it was revealed principles and means. So I wanted to understand their principles that was revealed and the means. And it's always the same thing. It starts from capacity enlargement. And that capacity is not what you do. It's your capacity, your mind, your body, what you think you are. I tell people that no matter what you think, as long as you do not take Grace Ofure away from Grace Ofure, I will create anything that I desire, even if I start from ground zero. Because the creative ability to create wealth is not on the external, it's actually first in the internal. So that automatically means that you need to deal with your limiting beliefs, your I can do it, and it's so important, and it comes as a result of faith or fear. So as long as you can deal with that, then you need an environment. You cannot create wealth in some certain environments. The environment plays a crucial role in wealth creation. Your environment can be your colleagues, your friends, and I'll give you a very interesting story that happened to me. I wanted to be very relevant in kingdom financing, and one day we were added to a group of people that were in an environment of abundance, and instantly when we were added to that group, people begin to say, nobody's going to know us in this group because the people there are so wealthy. And I said, never. I will be so relevant that by the time we call 5 people there, my name will be mentioned. And so it became. It wasn't really like looking like that as when I started, but I know that it is principles and means. And I was at it. Wealth creation is creating something. Like I said, you have to create something. And if you are listening to me, you can write you are a creator and you can create something. In my monthly challenge, there is one challenge I give to people and they finally end up doing it and they are wondering, how did I do it? You know why they did it? Because I pushed them to doing it. There's a thin line between poverty and wealth. It's very thin. As thin as it is, it's a very difficult line. But once you cross it, you now have a process and a system. And every time you play the game of that process and system, money comes to you. I'm sure that this is the best I can take for today. So in our next class, we will deal with other things. It's so painful that even the government and the financial institute has kept you in the dark for so long because the systems of this world was created just to make you poor. And nobody's coming to save you until you make up your mind to get wisdom for wealth. I'll see you again. I love you. Bye.